Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Caesar Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So I thought I would do a couple of quick readings, hopefully quick. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and it's really hard to keep up even with the stuff that's going on in this country. And so I just thought I would take a look at France. I did have somebody request a numerology and Kabbalah on Macron, and I still intend to do that. So he is a very interesting guy who has an interesting astrological chart. I'm not sure, I have looked at it, but I can't remember if we have a time of birth for him or not. But even with... I remember it being an interesting chart, whether I had an accurate time or not. Of course, in astrology, the more accurate you can get the time of birth, of course, the more accurate you can be in delineating the chart and then finding the best timing for a chart. But you can still get a whole lot of information even if you don't have an exact birth time. It's always preferable, though. Thing is, with Kabbalah and the numerology, all you really need is the full name and the date of birth, which is very helpful in those cases. Okay, so I'm not going to put it down. I don't have it set up that way. I'll just put the cards up. So this is the immediate environment for Macron. And we have the Mother of Water. And so this is an energy of nurturance, a sensitivity. There's a sensitivity. This is actually the goddess Kuan Yin. I don't know if you can see that. You can sort of see that. But this is, this whole aura here is almost like an extra sort of energy field, or in a way an extra appendage for feeling and sensing, testing the waters, testing the emotional waters here. And so he definitely is in a very emotional state. He's definitely feeling the people, okay? He's definitely feeling the people. Let's see what's crossing him. Okay, we have the Ace of Fire, which is force. In this deck is force. This is creativity. This is what's crossing him really is how do we proceed? And how do we deal with this very sort of, it's emotional in a different way, right? There's a temperamentalness. There's a bursting forth of energy and force with this card. And so he's trying to figure out perhaps how to put out the fires that are burning in France right now. Let's see what the root of this is. Okay, we have the High Priestess. And so at the root, there are things that are hidden from the people, I would say. Probably not hidden from him, but things that he cannot, on some level, divulge, perhaps. Interesting that this is the card at the root of it. Well, there's definitely something that's not being... there's just something hidden here. Okay, let's see what's in the past for him. Okay, we have the Sun. And of course, this was his victory. You know, he was a young guy. Compared to the woman, what was it, Le Pen? He was really, I mean, if there was a choice, he would have been the choice. Well, I know there was a lot more choices than just Le Pen and him, but they're the two that ended. I think those were the two. Or I think there was another guy, and excuse me for not knowing his name, who was maybe a little more progressive. And then there was Le Pen, who was more like a populist, right-winger. And then there was Macron, who was the sort of corporate, I guess we would call it here, the corporate Democrat. Neoliberal. Who, is a friend of business. And but it seems like they tax the middle class. Of course, the middle class is and then they're because it's such a business oriented thing, the workers' rights and stuff suffer. and so the worker suffers. The regular middle person would suffer with that. But this is his victory. He had his day in the sun. Let's see what's in the sky for him. Okay, we have the cause and effect card. This is the Two of Pentacles. So he's trying to balance things, balance the books. I know he put a tax on gas, and then he took the tax off because it got people crazed. But it's got to be more than that. There has to be more than just, saying you're going to do something and not doing it. There has to be the type of change that can create the effect of a more stable France, really, and a more stable state financially. In a way, France kind of runs like America. It runs on a lot of debt. So, of course, that's not good for definitely for the taxpayers, because they end up paying it all, I think. Could be wrong about that, but it seems about right. Let's see the immediate future for Macron. This is 6 weeks out. And we have the Hanged Man. And don't we know what this feels like here in America? And so this is a sense of having to look at things from a different perspective, changing the things that he can change, accepting the things that he can't, and then the wisdom to know the difference. This is not a very comfortable position for anybody in power, because there's a certain sense of not being able to do what you want to do. But if he takes this time to observe things from a different perspective, then perhaps this could be a beneficial thing for him. But at this point, there's not much he can do, at least in the short term, except perhaps make some plans about what to do. Okay, this is how it's seen from the outside. Okay, we have the Father Earth. I guess it's seen as an issue of money. And, the Father of Pentacles is a very substantial sort of businessman, somebody with a lot of assets, somebody with a lot of resources. And so there is this, perhaps people are seeing this as, the rich get richer and the middle class bears the burden. They have to have services for their people, but if the rich aren't paying their fair share, and I don't know what the tax rate is in France. I'm sure it's way more than it is here in America, because it doesn't seem like the rich pay anything here. And corporations, forget it. Was it GE hasn't paid taxes in how many years? And they're $1 billion corporation. How is that possible? How is that possible? This is his domestic situation. Okay, we have the Nine of Earth. So in his domestic situation, he seems to be doing okay. So I think financially he's doing okay. Of course, he would, right? He knows where to put the money. So I think personally he's doing okay. But this card, this is the Nine of Pentacles. The woman's standing in the garden with the bird, holding the bird. Or given the bird, right? Sometimes this is the a little bit of the idle rich. So there's this sense of, as long as their needs are met, like, the peons can go, I'm not sure that that's really how he is, and I wouldn't assume that. But there is a certain amount of insularity with this card, like a kind of let them eat cake kind of thing, but not as bad, right? And I believe when she said that, she was a young girl who didn't know anything. And, hold that against her. I mean, what century was it? The 1700s? What did like a 15-year-old from the 1700s know? Okay, hopes and fears. Okay. He's hoping that this comes to an end, that there's some sort of closure here. But this could also be a fear that this could be the end of his political career. Let's see what the outcome is. Okay, we have the Brother of Water. That's interesting. We started with the Mother of Water. We end with the Brother of Water. The Brother of Water is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is an energy that's very optimistic, idealistic, romantic. Not the most reliable of folks. this vibration. There's a maturity to all the knights, although they do quest. So he is trying to bring a certain amount of inspiration, perhaps love, soothing the fire, perhaps, that I spoke of. But the thing is, he may not be up to the task according to this card. He may just not be mature enough, or he may be too indebted to other people to really be able to make the changes they need. So let's see. Let's see if we can get a major arcana. We get the Power Shield, the Eight of, what is this? The Eight of Swords. That's the woman with her hands tied behind her back and the thing on, and she's trying to get through the sword. So this says that he has to tread very, very carefully. We get the Mother of Fire, ill-disposed, upside down. This strikes me as his wife. His wife. She's an older woman, and she's very, very beautiful, very composed. Seems like a smart cookie. I mean, he's a smart guy too. Don't get me wrong. I just, I don't know. Let's see. I don't want to say what I think. Okay, we get the Devil card. So it seems like he is indebted in some way to the money. The thing that worries me about this Devil card is that this Devil card can be, because of there's always, when the people are not happy, there's always that chance that the right wing, the Le Pen people can come in and sort of usurp the discontent, because the people who are in charge are not willing to make the changes necessary. I mean, we kind of saw that in this country with Hillary and Bernie. He was treated very badly. He was sort of put aside, and his people, not all of them. I voted for Bernie, and I would never have voted for Donald Trump. But a lot of his people did. They would have, if Bernie had been an option, they would have voted for Bernie and not for Trump. And so he sort of got the overflow from that, I think. And that is there's a danger here of that happening here. So, the Le Pen people, and I call them that. I don't even know if I'm sure she still is in politics. It's in her blood, right? Her father was a neo-Nazi or whatever. Yeah. So there is a chain. We have somebody chained to the physical world, right? Chained to. This is the energy of the people who have all the money, who just want more and more and more. They've sold their soul to the devil in a way. And so I think generally what I want to say is from this reading is that he is well intentioned, but that doesn't guarantee. Whereas somebody like the President of the United States is not well intentioned. I think Macron is well intentioned, and he does have some idealism about his point of view. But to me, it feels like being middle of the road or there's this need to sort of, I don't want to say fight fire with fire, but there needs to be a strength of commitment and a strength of belief in your point of view in the same way that the others have their strength in their point of view. It's a lot easier to, unfortunately, it's a lot easier to sort of drum up the fear than it is to require people to care about each other, especially when when people feel like they're insecure and unsafe. And that's really the challenge at this time, not just in France, but all over the world. And I think that's why it's so important for light workers and people of higher conscience and consciousness to work, and to raise the vibration and to open up to the light and to continue to love and do good works, and 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 hopefully we can, like, sort of change the tide. I personally, I almost feel like Macron isn't making the decisions here. Now, I will say this. I do not know anything about French politics, and I apologize for not knowing that, but I can only fit so much in my head. And and life is challenging as it is. So, but it's very interesting. I actually spoke to a client who lives in Europe, not in France, in a different country. And there's a lot of what we're experiencing in America, they're experiencing there as well. So, that this is Capricorn stuff, right? This is Capricorn. And but Capricorn is on the way. I don't want to say Capricorn's on the way out. I don't mean it that way. But we have an opportunity to release a lot of the conditionings, the social conditionings, and the above down, trickle down, the benefit of the few at the sake of the many. We have an opportunity to change that and shift that at this time. So let's do that in any little way that you can. Okay? All right. So I don't know. Doesn't look that good for Macron, but you can comment, like, subscribe if you like. Like I said, I don't know that much about France, so I'm even a little reticent. I like to know something, but I'm a little reticent to even say all this stuff. But I don't know. We'll see if I'm right, or we'll see if some of it's right. With these cards, I'd be happy to be wrong. Yes, I would. All right. Well, see you again. Thanks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.